Hey guys, Jonathan here for Jam Sports 100 the Jam Sports Show. How's it going? The Drive for COPD 300 just wrapped up, and let's talk about that. That's what we're here to do. It is our NASCAR Nationwide Series recap for the NASCAR Nationwide Series 2013 season opener. Very scary crash at the end. Hopefully all the fans are okay. The catch fence is not okay, but we'll talk about that when we get there. We saw some exciting racing today. If you didn't think it was a good race, then you're not a race fan. It was very, very exciting stuff. Let's get going right away. Trevor Bayne started on the pole. The action started early as Scott Legacy Jr. went for a spin on lap 8. Also coming in to play early, controversy or miscommunication between Danica Patrick and her crew chief. Her crew chief wanted Danica to pit. Danica did not. Therefore, Danica would have to come in at lap 37. However, she would not make it that far, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Shortly after they went back to green, Matt Kenseth was worried about a shifting issue. He's having a problem getting it to stay in fourth gear. It kept popping out, he had to hold it, and of course, that usually means trouble. He then figured out shortly thereafter what it was. He diagnosed the problem himself. There is a foot hose that's in the car for the driver. It's not really a foot hose, but it's a hose that blows cold air to the feet of the driver to keep the feet cool. Where that was, it was getting in the way of the shifter, so Kenseth, while racing, was able to get that taken care of and move it out of the way so he could shift better. And then at lap 31, Danica Patrick lost power. And at the same time, Elliott Sadler makes contact with Regan Smith. Won't be the first time, won't be the last time we talk about Regan Smith today. Of course, both those guys running for a championship. Smith goes spinning through the infield grass, but makes no contact. There was another wreck after Michael Annett got into Mike Wallace, and that caused a bit of a chain reaction, and several cars getting caught up in that, spinning through the grass. Lap 85, our pole sitter, Trevor Bayne, who it could have been a lot worse than it was. He was sitting in the middle of the pack running, I believe, 6th at the time. Basically, what we thought at the time blew up. It was a drivetrain issue, so his day was done. So Bayne, another guy looking to contend for the championship. Lap 100, just 20 laps to go. Kyle Busch blows a motor. Of course, the big deal with Daytona and everything, with the drafting, of course, is you got to watch your water temperatures. You get too hot, you got to back off. Unfortunately for Kyle, he said he was in the middle of the pack. He could not back off because he was sandwiched in the middle, so he couldn't back off, and he had no choice but to blow the motor up. He couldn't get away from the middle of the pack to get some cooler air in that engine. And then with 5 laps to go, 11 cars were involved in a big wreck. It was just a case of racing for real estate that wasn't really there. A car ended up getting loose and getting up into the wall. That's basically what it was. Michael Annett actually was involved in that one as well, I believe. Also, at the same time Kyle Busch blew up, Reed Sorensen had a big, I forgot to mention, Reed Sorensen also had a huge blow up. And then coming to the checkered flag, the wreck that everybody is talking about. And we'll be talking about for quite a while because it destroyed part of the catch fence. Regan Smith, Brad Keselowski, nose to tail, coming down to the checkered. Keselowski goes to make his move. Regan Smith comes up to block. Keselowski makes contact, and the left rear quarter, which, you know, within these cars, that's going to be trouble. Regan Smith gets into the wall in front of the whole field because he was leading at the time. In front of the whole field, pretty much every car gets some sort of damage in it. Kyle Larson, the scary one, as he gets up into the catch fence, pierces the catch fence, and completely shreds the whole front half of his car. He was okay. He did walk away. Some parts of his car did end up, in fact I believe the engine did as well, but some parts of his car did end up on the fan side of the catch fence, so ESPN still having coverage and still fixing the catch fence, and also still keeping an eye on fans. Hopefully there are no serious injuries to report. Michael Annett was involved, I believe, in either the last wreck or the one with 5 to go. I don't remember which wreck he was involved in. That sent him to the hospital, but one of them had him sent to the hospital to a local hospital for further evaluation. So hopefully he will be fine. All the drivers appear to be fine from the big crash. It looked a little bit like the Carl Edwards catch fence situation. That's the thing about restrictor plate racing. So meanwhile, Tony Stewart was able to sneak his way through that wreck and get the win. He's won 5 out of the last 6 Drive for COPD 300 races. So he is in Gatorade Victory Lane. But even he, in all the interviews, all the NASCAR drivers, their concerns with the fans. So that was pretty cool to see that. All right, let's take a look now. Like I said, it was some pretty exciting racing. 35 lead changes, which was a record for this race. 35 lead changes among 20 drivers. And keep in mind, that's only lead changes at the line. That doesn't include all the lead changes that happened throughout the track. 40 of them started this race, 22 were running at the end. We saw 7 cautions for 26 laps. It was a hot day in Daytona. It is currently 86 degrees as we speak in Daytona right now. It was 87, I believe, was the highest they were during the racing today. Mike Hilton, NASCAR's president, is currently on ESPN right now. I can't hear it because, of course, I'm doing this. We're probably just giving some updates. Let's take a look at how the finishing order wrapped up from 40th to 1st. Finishing 40th, Jeff Green. 39th, Scott Legacy Jr. 38th, Blake Cook. Blake Cook got a little bit of damage in the Scott Legacy spin, I believe. In fact, he did. Along with Juan Carlos Bloom, who finished 37th. 36th for Danica Patrick after her engine problems. 35th for Kurt Busch. He also had some a spin which really damaged his race car. Mike Wallace 34th. 33rd for Jeremy Clements. He had trouble all day long, including getting black flagged once. 32nd for Kyle Busch. 31st for Trevor Bayne after he had his drivetrain problem. Reed Sorensen finished 30th. Jimmy Dick finishes 29th. Hal Martin 28th in a lot of these cars. Johanna Long 27th. Danny Eflin 25th. Jason White 24th. Mike Bliss 23rd. Jeffrey Earnhardt 22nd. Austin Dillon 21st. By the way, he's another guy I forgot to say he was involved. Casey Kane 20th. Basically 30th and 20th were all involved in that wreck. 19th went to Brian Vickers, 1 lap down, as well as he looks to continue as he runs for a championship this year. First car to finish on the lead lap was Joe Nemechek in 18th. 17th for Mike Harmon, good run for him. Matt Kenseth finishes 16th. Elliott Sadler 15th. Regan Smith 14th. Unfortunate for both Regan and for Elliott Sadler. Both these guys, of course, running for championships this year. Kyle Larson did finish 13th and is okay, even though he did have the nasty wreck. Brad Keselowski comes home 12th. 11th for Nelson Piquet Jr. Good run for Travis Pastrana. Of course, he's running full-time this year for Roush Fenway Racing in the number 60 car. So he starts his season off the 10th. Good run for Robert Richardson Jr. in 9th. Eric McClure, another good run for him. He finished 8th. Justin Allgaier 7th. Brian Scott 6th. Parker Kligerman finishes in the 5 spot, and he led some laps today. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes 4th. 3rd goes to Alex Bowman. Good job there for him, that young rookie. Good run to start out the season. And Sam Hornish Jr. finishes 2nd. And Hornish Jr., I tell you what, I don't know that he's going to win the championship this year, but I definitely think he's going to contend. He said in the pre-race he felt like he had about 6 opportunities to win races last year, and they just couldn't get over the hump. I think they will get over the hump. I think they will win races this year. I think they'll contend for the championship. Quite frankly, I think this is a good feeling. Austin Dillon contends for the championship. I think Elliott Sadler, Brian Vickers, Sam Cornish Jr., this is going to be Justin Allgaier will probably be there. Brian Scott will probably be there. There's a lot of guys who can contend for this Nationwide Series championship this season, I think. The next race for the the Nationwide Series does take place next weekend. So unlike the Camping World Truck Series, no rest for the weary there. They will fix up their damages, and next Saturday, which is March 2nd, the Dollar General 200, fueled by AmeriGas, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. That is out of Phoenix. So we go from Daytona to Phoenix. The Carnage will carry over. The racing will carry over. It should be fun. So like we said, Tony Stewart has now won 5 of the last 6 Drive4COPDs and was leading last year when a wreck, a lot like really what happened this year. A wreck took him out. James Busher was able to take the win there. So, good stuff there. In his NASCAR Nationwide Series career, he now has 11 career Nationwide Series wins. So, 5 of those 11 wins coming in this race. So, pretty good record right there. Now, he's run 93 races in the Nationwide Series, including this one right here. He's got 40 top 10s, 6 poles, 11 wins. So, but we all know that Stewart's pretty good at this racing thing. Anyway, sorry this preview isn't really the greatest, but I didn't really have a lot of time to prepare for it because I wanted to get it recorded. I'm not feeling that great. Got sinus issues going on today. Hopefully this is the end of my sinus infection. Hopefully that's all that this signals. Daytona preview, don't really know if I'm going to have one. Also, I'm sorry I did not put up the running order. I said it in the Camping World Truck Series recap, and I'll say it in this one too, and I'll say it in the one tomorrow probably. All the previews are going to be is me going over the running order. And I'm also sorry that I didn't do entry lists for the Camping World Truck Series Nationwide Series this weekend. It was just too rough. It was too rough, and it was just too hard with everything going on with the Gatorade duels and everything. So starting next week in Phoenix, I will have that, and I'm gonna do each entry list separately. So the Nationwide entry lists are gonna be separate from the Cup ones, and the truck ones will be their own separate video as well. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I'm sick of talking. I've got the sinus stuff that's irritating my throat, so I'm gonna quit talking for a while and I don't know, go play some PlayStation 2 or 360 or watch some wrestling or do something, and I'll be back later on tonight with picks for tomorrow. Picks for today are up. They were a little late, but they're up. There are no NHL picks, so if you're looking for those, those aren't there. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.